Hey guys, welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my first impression thoughts on the Too Faced Pretty Rich eyeshadow palette. I was so excited to get this early, you guys, because my friend Ashley Clady here on YouTube actually spotted it in her Sephora store, and she asked me if I wanted to get it early, and I was like, absolutely. So she picked it up for me, sent it over, so I'm incredibly thankful for her. So thanks again, girl, for this. I really appreciate it. My Sephora stores always seem to play by the rules, like nothing ever slips by them, so this is really amazing. I'm also going to be touching on the new diamond highlighter in this collection as well. This particular shade has been released before, which is why I got it already. It is this beautiful white shifting highlight, so I do have this one in my collection, and I will definitely touch on this as well. If you guys are new to my channel, hello, my name is Jenna. It is so nice to meet you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I chat about high-end and luxury makeup, in particular from like a makeup lover perspective. I don't have any formal training as a makeup artist. I just learn as I go and as I play around with new products and learn from other people. So I do believe that anything that I feel like I can make work, you can make work. That's just kind of how I feel about that, because I don't have like special skills to make something look amazing. So if you're like me, you're interested in reviews and hauls and stuff from just an everyday girl that just loves makeup, then I would love for you to consider subscribing to my channel. And without further ado, let's get on to this palette's thoughts, first impressions, swatches, the whole jazz. First things first, let's talk about the outer packaging. This is the Pretty Rich eyeshadow palette from Too Faced. It is a really beautiful packaging. I do think it's a tad bulky, if I'm honest. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to store just because of how wide and bulky it really is, but it does match the diamond highlighter packaging that they did release prior, so I'm not surprised by the packaging, that it's all cohesive and things like that. When you open it up, you do have a mirror in the lid. It's not the biggest in the world, but it is useful. I think that in a pinch you could use it, but personally I used my little makeup vanity mirror that I used for my filming desk instead, because this is pretty small, but again, in a pinch it'll work really well. And then you will see the eyeshadows themselves. There are 16 shadows in here. We do have 4 glitter shades, we have 8 shimmer shades, and 4 mattes. This palette is available as of now on Too Faced website. It's also going to be available at Sephora and Ulta on December 2nd. It does retail for $49 American dollars or 59 Canadian dollars. The diamond highlighter as well is available at toofaced.com. It's also available at Sephora. It does retail for 34 American dollars or 42 Canadian dollars. So Too Faced has a number of claims with this palette here. It's also really kind of big and bulky to hold up. Jeez, look at me, I'm just complaining. Anyways, okay, so there's glitter shades that they say is like a pressed gel glitter formula, and they do recommend a glitter glue with it. I would actually 100% agree with that. I did order a glitter glue for this first impression video, but because Canada Post has been lagging with some deliveries, I didn't get it in time. So when I applied the glitter today, I just used my fingers, and I'll get to that. Then they also have some mattes and some shimmer shades. When I was doing the swatches, you guys, the mattes, again, the mattes are creamy. They're very, very blendable. I do think that they're going to work very well for anyone that uses them. They're basically beginner friendly as well. There are 2 shimmer shades in here that gave me a little bit of trouble with swatches. I found they were a little bit drier. The first one is Highly Selective, and the second one is Don't Care It At All. Both of them are still very pigmented, but they're not as creamy to the touch. And when I used Highly Selective today, which I will get to, it didn't blend as well as the creamy mattes do. It still blends really beautifully. I didn't have to try that hard, but there is a little bit of a difference between them when you're working with them. What I did for my eye look today is I really wanted to use a lot of the different types of shadows in here so I could get a very thorough like first impression. The first shade that I went in with is It's Designer. It's this one right here. It is a base color. It's a matte, and I found that it worked perfectly. It blended really well. It was just amazing to work with. Very, very creamy, super easy and beginner friendly for sure. Then I went in with Fancy That, which is the matte right beside it. And I did use this for the crease and the outer edge of the eye. Again, this was a very consistent, creamy, blendable matte, very, very nice and pigmented. I really did enjoy using this as well. Then I really wanted to try one of the shades that when I swatched, it came out a little bit drier than the rest. So I really wanted to go into Highly Selective, which is right here. And I used that again in the outer corner of the eye. What I did find was that it actually applied still really well. The blending needed a little bit more effort than the mattes. So I wouldn't say that it's a total deal breaker or a write-off shade whatsoever. It still performed really well, but the dryness was a tad evident in the blending. Then I went in with Filthy Rich. This is a shimmer on top of the Highly Selective shade in the palette, so it's right here. And I wanted to see if the shimmer blendability was going to be consistent with all of the shimmers because there's 8 of them. But the Filthy Rich shade is creamier to the touch and to the swatch, and it did blend out better than the Highly Selective shade. So that's amazing. That means that those 2 shimmers that just were a little bit drier are just those 2 shades, and I'm going to really hope that the rest of the shimmers are just as blendable as the mattes. The last thing, of course, is the glitter. I really wanted to get into that, so I did use Diamonds for Breakfast, which is right here. This is a shade, you guys, that I really, really wish I had glitter glue for, just because Too Faced does recommend it. I was so sad that it didn't come in time, but it actually applied really beautifully with the finger. I was really, really impressed. They do say there's a pressed gel glitter formula in here that makes it easier to apply glitters, and I would 100% agree. Without any adhesive, I thought it was gonna fly all over my face and just fall all over, like just to be a royal mess, but it actually did a great job without any adhesive. So I do think with a glitter glue, it's going to be optimal, it's going to be the best, so that I am super happy with. I do think this look came out really nice, really easy. If you are looking for a diverse palette where there's lots of different types of shades, I think this is going to be for you. I don't even think I can compare this to any other like Too Faced palette, because of how different it is. Like yes, the mattes are going to be dupeable. These browns you've seen multiple times, but I think that they're necessary because this is supposed to be like a elegant, classy, like richy kind of palette, right? Like it's the Pretty Rich collection. If you're looking for a palette that's just mattes and shimmers, or you're not interested in glitters at all, this is certainly not for you. This palette does remind me of a Huda Beauty palette, especially the new Nudes palette. And I don't mean in like color scheme or color story at all, but what I mean is like the types of shimmers and shadows and that type of thing in one particular package. So I do think this is the first time that Too Faced has done this. Let me know down below if that's not the case. So this is something that really surprised me. Based on the promo pictures, I wasn't sure if I was going to be as into it as I really am. So I'm really happy with it. I will definitely keep you posted when I get my glitter glue and test it out with actual glitter adhesive, which is kind of the whole point, Jenna. Like, what the heck are you doing? When I do that, I will let you know in my update video what I think of this as a whole. But so far, my first impression is really strong. Lastly, I do want to touch on the highlighter once again. I have talked about this in a previous video as well, but this is a really beautiful highlight too. I do think that this is more of a frosted look on the face, so if you're not into like a frosted highlight, this won't be for you. But I'm wearing it today on my face, and my highlight is much more of a greeny blue kind of shift to it, so I have to apply it ever so lightly because I do prefer a more natural highlight. I don't really wear lots of blue, green, purple shifts, those kind of things, but I'm happy with this one because it's done so light. So that's why I've kept it in my collection. I don't have any need though to buy the rest of the shades just because I don't wear a lot of shifting highlights like that. And I do think that the other shades are much deeper, so I do think they would look stunning on deeper skin tones. Performance-wise, this is really beautiful, super soft to the touch, lasts all day, like it's so pigmented. I have used this for a number of months now, so this is something that's really, really beautiful. Anyways, guys, that is it for my first impression thoughts on this Pretty Rich Too Faced palette. Let me know down below, are you interested in picking it up? I am super curious. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to let me know as well by giving it a big thumbs up, as well as don't forget to subscribe on your way out. And until my next one, guys, take care. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!
You and me, everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us. It shows the way.